The first session is on the quality in technical education and accreditation, mainly on the NACC accreditation. We have with us Dr. B.B.Goyal. Dr. B.B.Goyal is a very eminent professor. He retired as a professor in public administration from the Punjab University, Chandigarh, and he is on the panel of NBA, NACC, and many other national agencies. So I welcome Dr. Goyal sir for this session, and thank him for coming over here. And I request him to please start the session, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor D.B. Dear participants, the topic that has been assigned to me is on NACC accreditation. What are the procedures, what are the processes, and why, after all, accreditation is required, maybe in the higher education, maybe in the technical education, or in any other area of education as such. Any topic on accreditation by NACC or by the NBA cannot be taken up until and unless we know what is the education scenario in a country. I'm sure you must be aware about an index which is known as Human Development Index. Are you? It is a United Nations, in the United Nations Development Program, that every year comes out with an index known as the Human Development Index. And Human Development Index includes education, health, and many other services as such. Where India is placed in the Human Development Index, are you aware? I would like to have an interactive session so that it doesn't become one-sided discussion as such. That will be much better as such. We are in the lowest ebb. Every year either we are placed at 132 or 134 or 133. It shows the state of affairs of our country with regard to the rate of the education standards or the quality of education that is being imparted in our country as such. In spite of the fact India is the largest in the world, so far as the number of the education institutions in the art of higher education is concerned, it is estimated that out of 12 crores of the students who pass out from the schools every year, only 2.5 crores of the students are able to enter the colleges. Maybe the arts, maybe the science, maybe the medical or non-medical, etc. It means only 18% of the students are able to join the colleges, and rest of the 9.5 crores of students are not able to get the admissions for one reason or the other. What are those reasons? One of the main reasons is the financial constraint, because of the rural population, because of rural poverty as such. There is no interest amongst the youngsters with regard to the conventional mode of education. In case I am able to pass simple BA, simple BSc, or simple anything else, I am not going to get any employment opportunity as such. So because we do not have the faith in the conventional system of education, that is another reason that majority of the students do not join in the colleges. No job opportunities are available. Even if I am able to do like graduation or MBA, many examples are there that those MBAs are coming for the position of class 4 positions, whether in the private sector, in the public sector, or any other organization. And more so, the colleges have not yet come up near the length and breadth of the countryside where the villages are available as such. So no accessibility of the higher educational institutions nearby where the students are living as such. It is again estimated that at present in our country there are more than 22,000 colleges, more than 645 universities as such. What do you mean by a university? A university may be of different types. A state university, a deemed university, a private funded university, a central university, an agricultural university, a health sciences university, and so on and so forth. Similarly, the colleges may be of various types. Can you name some of the type of the colleges? I give you one example only, the government college. Can we classify those colleges in some other forms also? Yes, please.
Basically, they are divided into two categories. One is affiliating colleges, another is autonomous colleges.
Yes. Something else also? In addition to the affiliated colleges and the autonomous colleges, we have another category that is known as the constituent colleges.
Yes.
So we have the affiliated colleges, we have the constituent colleges, we have the autonomous colleges, we have the aided colleges, we have the non-aided colleges, and so on and so forth as such. And when in the UPA government, a very dynamic Union Cabinet Minister came, he said, we would like to increase the number of the higher education institutions to more than 900 universities, about 40,000 colleges in the country, so that we are able to increase the enrollment ratio in the colleges from 12% to 30% over a period of 2020. So this was the main agenda of the then UPA government, then not then, still existing up to 16th of May or the 30th of May as such. So this was the major agenda, that they wanted to increase the enrollment ratio of the college students from 12% to 30%, and wanted to ensure that instead of 12 crore students, we are able to have the enrollment of 24 crore students in the colleges as such. Thereby, they would like to provide the employment opportunities to 5% of the graduates as well. As against the world average of 26% enrollment, the target was 30% over a period of 2020. But you know, nothing has come out so far. We have been trying to make progress, but still we are on the back track as such. Later on, another Union Cabinet Minister in the education sector came, and he talked about the community colleges. They wanted to introduce on the pattern of the Northern America, that the community college concept, whereby the credit-based system would be introduced. And in our country, we are switching over to the credit-based system by and by as such. The present agenda of both the ruling party and the opposition party, or which is likely to be the ruling party, is in every state you would like to have one IIM, one IIT, one AIMS, and so on and so forth, whether it's the UPA, the BJP, or any other party. But what is the state of affairs today of Indian universities? Do we find any university in India in the globally recognized 200 universities? We do not find any place so far, except this year, the Punjab University has taken the lead, that it finds a place in the world recognized university in the first 50 as such. So some progress has been made, whereby we can say that yes, that out of 700 university or 600 university, there is one university which is on the global map as such. But what is required? The requirement is the quality education. We have to ensure some global quality standards are evolved, and those are adhered to in letter and spirit as such. And for that purpose, these quality standards cannot be evolved over a period of time or in a day. The Rome was not built in a day. You have to establish some benchmarks. And those benchmarks can be established only with the help of accreditation and assessment. Whether in the health sector, whether in the social sector, or in the education sector, and so on and so forth as such. It is the accreditation only which is considered today as the potent weapon in the battle of the talent hunting, in the battle of the quality hunting as such. With the accreditation alone, we shall be able to ensure the quality, we shall be able to meet the minimum standards, we shall be able to ensure the continuous improvement, and we shall be able to ensure the accountability. In fact, when we talk about the accreditation, it includes two terms. One is the accreditation and another is the assessment. Accreditation is assessment is a part of the accreditation. Assessment is just like the health checkup of an individual or that of an institution. Just like an ailing individual goes to the doctor and the doctor sees your pulse, sees your BP, sees your temperature and able to diagnose something. Similarly, with the help of the assessment of an educational institution, we are able to know whether an educational institution is able to impart the knowledge, it is able to impart the skills, it is able to impart the attitudes and the beliefs. It means accreditation is equal to assessment plus bringing some reforms, and those reforms will be based on the various practices as such. I'm sorry, I shall just close. So accreditation is equal to the assessment plus bringing some reforms as such. And that's why accreditation is just like a diagnostic center. What is a diagnostic center? In the case of the health sector, that an individual goes to that center, goes for some certain clinical tests, based on the reports received from the clinical tests, some preventive measures or curative measures are taken care of. Same is the case of an accreditation. That they try to assess, they try to verify and then suggest certain measures whereby reforms can be brought about, qualitative changes can be brought about in the existing system as such. And that's why some of the benefits of the accreditation would be we can carry out the SWOT analysis. What is SWOT analysis?
Strengths, weakness, opportunities and threats.
What are the opportunities then? Because strengths and weaknesses, you know. Opportunities is more important. What are those opportunities? In any organization, you are from which organization?
I'm from Government College of Engineering, Maharashtra.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So how do you read the opportunities in your government college?
Actually, when there are some lacunas,
yes,
that means there is scope to improvement.
I see.
Improvement.
So those are the weaknesses or the opportunities?
Weaknesses can be seen in the light as an opportunity.
I see. Anybody else? How you make a distinction between the opportunities and that though the weaknesses are there, but even then we are not ready to initiate the action. So if there are some inherent defects, certainly those are the parameters that with the help of the SWOT analysis we are awakened. Yes, here is an opportunity for you and you can bring certain reforms as such. So one of the major advantage of the accreditation is to carry out the SWOT analysis or to identify the internal areas for better planning and resource allocation. It is again facilitates for the funding as agencies as well. The funding agencies will come to an institution only when the organization is working well and they will be ready to provide you the lot of assistance in terms of men, money and material as such. The society would also benefit it because they will be able to get the information what type of the education is being imparted by a higher education institution as such. It is the employer again who will be getting the benefit. Why? he will be able to attract the best talent as such. Only yesterday, there was news that the Thapar University, which is our neighboring university in Patiala, the employer has been able to attract the students with a package of how much? Can you just imagine? 23 lakhs per annum. So if a graduate of the Thapar University is able to get an employment package of 23 lakhs, it shows. What it shows? It shows some quality education is being imparted by that institution as such. And it is with the help of accreditation alone that the identity of the organization can be established as such. And that's why the institution about which we are going to talk today, the NACC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, today is being rated or being considered as synonymous with the quality. The quality has become the buzzword for the NACC. Over a period of time, I will just give the historical background as well. The NACC has been able to evolve. It has been able to expand. It has been able to, what we call, fine-tune. What for? To provide satisfaction to its stakeholders as such. Then how NACC was established? It is a history. It was a national policy on education in 1986 for the first time, which advocated, which pleaded that let there be an independent and autonomous organization which is able to ensure the qualitative aspects of our higher education institutions. It was in 86. Again, in 1992, a plan of action was framed, and that too advocated for that there should be an independent organization which can take care about the qualitative and other aspects of the institution as such. And it was in 1994. It was in 1994 that the NACC for the first time came into being. It was the UGC which was able to frame, which was able to, under its act, was able to constitute this independent and autonomous organization, NACC, which was to take care, to assess and accredit the institution of the higher learning as such. So that was the beginning of the NACC as such, and I had the privilege to be associated right from 2000 with the various accreditation processes of the NACC as well. The basic structure of the NACC, very briefly, is there is a general council headed by the president, there is an executive council, and for the day-to-day administration, there is a director of the institution. So it is these three structures which are able to do the whole speed work for the institution as a whole as such. Let me compose finally that which are the institutions eligible for the assessment or the accreditation. Is it that every type of organization is eligible for the accreditation? No. There are two limitations. One of the major limitation is that NACC is not responsible for accreditation of the distance education programs. Why? Any reason? Any reason? I'm sure some of your colleges must be running some distance education programs or not. For example, the NITR is organizing some distance education programs as well. For distance education programs, we have a separate council that is known as the Distance Council of India. So that is why NACC has not been allowed to make an assessment or accreditation of those programs which are being run through the informal or through the distance system of education as such. The second limitation is that any offshore program that is not within the purview of the NACC. It means NACC has been given the liberty for accreditation of a large number of programs, and the Act provides the first purview which comes within the NACC purview is all those recognized universities which have been established under Section 2F, 12B or Section 3 of the UGC Act. The condition is those universities must have completed 6 years of its existing network, or 2 batches of the graduate students have already passed over from that institution. This is one. One criteria for the assessment is 6 years of the existence of a recognized university, or the 2 batches, undergraduate batches, those have been cleared from that university. The second condition is, even if a university has not been able to in existence for the last 6 years, but its constituent college or its affiliated college has a long standing. That means it has been existing for over 5-6 years or above. Then also those colleges and not the university. I'm trying to make a distinction. In the first case, it is only the university, the recognized university, which is eligible for accreditation and assessment. In the second category, even if the university has not been able to pass through 6 years of time, but its constituent of the affluent college has already cleared 6 years of time, then only as a unit, only that college, the constituent college or the affiliated college will be given the accreditation, and not the university as such. The third category of the eligibility is that all the recognized colleges under the recognized universities, as I said in clause 1, if these have also been in existence for the last 6 years and cleared the 2 batches of the undergraduate students, they are also eligible for the accreditation framework as such. In the fourth category, any professional institution, in case it signs an MOU with the NACC, then also accreditation for that professional institution can also be done. At present, there is a MOU between the National Council for Teacher Education with the NACC, and any programs of the teacher education are also being accredited by the NACC as such. And the last category, as I said, that it is only with the prior permission or the approval of the UGC and the Government of India. If any transnational institution is interested in the accreditation of their program, of their institution, then the NACC can come into the picture as such. So these are the conditions for eligibility of by the NACC as such. Let me come to major point that, how we shall be able to.
So, next, no, they are seeing it over there.
OS. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah.
So you can see over there. You can see over there.
Okay, no, better it is. That much better.
No, they're recording also. Sir.
I see.
You can send over there.
I see.
But
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
Yeah,
So here, I just try to explain a bit more in detail the quality. What is the quality? Quality is a product of the intensive investment of the capital, the talent, and the hard work, as I said in the beginning as such. It is a choice and not a chance. Generally, we take it as a chance, but it is a choice as such. It is a design, and it is not by an accident. And it is a continuous journey. It is not the destination as such. If the destination comes, then there is an end over the qualitative aspect. It is always a continuous activity as such. I just skip it over. Yeah. Here to make a distinction between a qualitative institution and an institution which does not believe or has not embarked upon any qualitative aspects as such. So how we make a distinction between the two? A qualitative institution is always customer focused. On the other hand, an ordinary institution is focusing only on the internal needs. A qualitative organization always believes in detecting the problems. Until unless we are able to detect the problems, no solutions can be found out. On the other hand, they are only focusing on, preventing the problems and detecting the problems. Always it is said, prevention is better than cure. So always once you go to a doctor, he will always recommend, these are the preventive medicines. So always better it is we take the preventive measures first of all, and later we go for the other measures. It treats the complaints as an opportunity, as I was discussing with him. Opportunity is more and more important under the SWOT analysis, and here the complaints are treated as a nuisance value for the organization. A qualitative organization always believes in a qualitative policy, and we know there otherwise there is no quality policy as such. It is a senior management which leads the quality all the time, and there it is the management role. They try to control everything, they try to hush up everything. The improvement process involves everyone. It is not only the top management which can take care about each and everything. They try to have the involvement of each and everyone, and there it is only the management which is mainly responsible for the bringing about improvements. In the qualitative aspects, everyone is very clear about their specific duties and responsibilities, whereas there are no roles and the responsibilities, rather those are vague as such. Here we have a clear-cut evaluation strategy, how we shall be able to monitor and evaluate. I'm sure you can make a distinction between the two, monitoring and evaluation, or it is the same? Yes, please. How do you feel? Monitoring and evaluation are two different terms or the same terms? Because this is very, very important. Yes. It is same. Okay. Yes, dear.
So I think they are different. Monitoring is just checking out the things. Evaluation, there has to be some kind of feedback in that. In evaluation.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Different, sir.
Okay. If it is different, how? That is more important. When the monitoring is carried out and when the evaluation is carried out, then the things will be more clear.
We analyze and we conclude the constraints and all that in evaluation.
No. Even the evaluation, we again analyze everything of those things. Just here. Is there any difference between monitoring and evaluation?
Monitoring is just checking
Okay.
whether things are going right or not.
Okay, that's good.
Evaluation, we are going little bit deeper.
Deeper. Is it so? Whether the monitoring and evaluation can be carried out simultaneously?
Evaluation is after process.
Yes.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Actually, monitoring already the system has been checked and the plan is given, and we have to see that whether on that short path there is any deviation or
Okay. Okay.
so we monitor.
Okay.
For evaluation, we are actually system is there and there are some faults or some lacuna. We are checking it for the first time.
Is it post facto or
Pre-facto, I suppose.
Yes,
Monitoring is pre-facto.
monitoring?
It's a part of preventive measure.
Monitoring
Yes,
No,
sir.
no,
or evaluation?
Evaluation.
Yes. Monitoring is an ongoing process.
Continue.
Yeah, it is a continuous process. From time to time, you monitor the progress and take the curative measures as such. Evaluation is always post facto. It is a post-mortem.
Yes, sir.
So we are less interested in the post-mortem, rather to improve ourselves on a continuous basis, so that whatever the defects comes to our mind, whatever the shortcomings come to our mind, those can be taken care of there and then. It is the quality with the help of which we have the evaluation strategies as well. Quality deals with the long-term aspects, whereas the other institutions, they believe in the short-term gains. Quality is a part of the culture. Quality has a mission. Quality treats the colleagues as the customers as such. In order to ensure the quality, you require a lot of resources. Those resources may be in terms of various ends: men, money, material, machines, methods, markets, movements, and so on and so forth. But here, for specificity, we take into consideration only the human resources, and in the case of the education institution, there are two major resources, which you as the teachers and the others as the students. In terms of the physical resources, you require an infrastructure, you require a land, you require the lab, you require the library, you require the infrastructure as such.
So I think one more important resources we are missing always, it is environmental resources that we are missing.
I said when I am referring to various ends, a large number of things can come in that way, and environment nowadays is playing a very, very important role. When we refer to the infrastructure, how the infrastructure can be best developed. I had the chance to visit throughout the country as such, and we find there are campuses which are environmental friendly. If those buildings and the infrastructure of the campuses are environmental friendly, certainly you feel, yes, here is the best environment where we can study, we can do a lot as such, and actually environment plays a very, very...
I'm not talking about that,
Okay.
I'm talking about the society as such.
Societal one.
Yes, the education system cannot be isolated from the society.
Naturally, when you will be planning the things, naturally, when we come to the various criteria for making the assessment and accreditation, the last criteria is bringing about innovations and the best practices. And there the environmental issues from the society point of view plays a very, very important role, and the marks are allotted also for that purpose. I shall come later on a bit after that as such. So far the resources are concerned, these are either for the maintenance part or for the developmental part, need not to be explained in detail. Coming to the governance, a number of factors come into being, maybe the financial management, maybe the decentralized and delegation, particularly in the private aided colleges. Are there participants from the private colleges? Yes, only one. Yeah, two. So, to what extent the decentralization and delegation of the powers have been given to you, or everything is being controlled by those promoters because they are more interested in making the money?
It's little bit parallel governance.
So they lack the governance part. I know I have been a member of the NACC team and the NBA team, and when you talk about the delegation of powers, what they have done, before the visit of the team, they pass the resolutions on the papers. These powers have been delegated to the head of department. These are the financial powers which have been given to the teachers or the head of department, the deans, and in fact, it is only a paper exercise. Practically, those powers are always vested in the promoters who manage the whole show. So governance includes the delegation, teaching processes, the research activities, the developmental activities, the continuing education, or the industrial interaction as such. Once all these inputs have been taken into consideration, what is the outcome? After all, there is a process, some inputs, the process, and the resultant output. The output is in two forms. Either the tangible results. Which are the tangible results, Sita? What do you mean by tangible and intangible? No. Yes, beta.
So which can be touched?
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah. Pardon?
Which can be measurable?
Yeah. Tangible is the one which can be measured, and intangible are the ones which cannot be measured as such. So the tangible results or the outcomes can be in terms of the manpower, in terms of the research papers, in terms of the products, in terms of the patents, in terms of the consultancy, and so on and so forth. So for the intangibles are concerned, These are the reputation of the organization, the credibility of the institution, the national image that it has, and I gave the example of the Punjab University very recently, and the excellence in education, maybe in IIT, maybe in IIM, maybe in IAC or any other organization as such. I skip it over. Yeah. I state in outcome, what is the procedure for the accreditation by the NACC? Eligibility conditions I have already told you, and let's come, what is the procedure as such? In the beginning, if you want to go for an accreditation and you are eligible, go for the manual which is available from the NACC site or otherwise as such. And at present, it is a two-stage submission of everything for going for the assessment or accreditation. One is the online submission, and another is later on submission of the report, self-study report. I shall come later on. This is the crucial slide so far the NACC assessment and accreditation is concerned. The NACC has divided the accreditation process in 7 parameters. The 7 parameters are in terms of the curriculum aspects, in terms of teaching, learning and evaluation, research, consultancy and extension, infrastructure and learning resources, student support and progression, governance, leadership and management, and innovation and best practices I told you, which I'll later on discuss. So there are 7 aspects under which a college or a university is assessed and accredited. Let me make a mention over here. Till date, the NACC does the accreditation for the organization as a whole and not for a specific program. What do you mean by a program within a university? I'm sure you are clear that, for example, within a university there is a multi-faculty department, and one of the departments is MBA. MBA will not be assessed and accredited by the NACC. It is the university as a whole, the institution as a whole, for which the assessment and accreditation will be done. But later on I will take up the matter. What steps are being made nowadays whereby program accreditation can also take place over a period of time? I shall explain that aspect a bit later on. All these 7 criteria have been given 1000 marks. So all these 7 criteria are divided into 1000 marks as a whole. As I said in the beginning, university is a different, autonomous college is different, a constituent and affiliated college is different, and that's why marks for an affiliated or a constituent college is different, for an autonomous college is different, and for the university as a whole is different again. So here again, what you find, after the curricula, after the criteria, we have tried to give the 3 columns, the marks columns. The first column is for the university, the second column is for the autonomous college, and the third column is for a affiliated or a constituted college. Reason being, why the marks are a bit different? The duties and the responsibilities of a university vis-a-vis an autonomous college and a constituent college are different as such. So the same parameters cannot be applied in terms of the marks as such. So that is the mark, that is the reason different marks have been allotted for the different criteria in the different fashion as such. The fourth column is 4, 6, 7, etc. Here, a particular criteria, for example, the curriculum aspect has been further subdivided into 4 sub-aspects. I shall explain later on in the subsequent slides. So this way, every criteria has been further subdivided into 4, 6, 7, 4, etc. In all, there are 32 key aspects. These are known as the key aspects. So 1000 marks are there. There are 7 criteria and there are 32 key aspects. Again, depending upon a particular criteria. These key aspects are again examined by raising a number of questions, and that's why a number of indicators are available for getting the information relating to those key aspects as such, and that's why a large number of indicators are available in the last column. Maybe for curriculum aspects there are 19 indicators, maybe for the teaching and learning there are 40 indicators, and in all there are 204 indicators as a whole, whereby probing is done by the NACC team or by the NACC headquarters. So based on the marks that we are able to get, an institution is assessed and given the accreditation as such. As I said in the beginning, all the 7 aspects have been further divided. For example, we take the curricular aspects. Here, it is divided into 4 key aspects. One is curriculum design and development. The support thereof is curriculum planning and implementation. The academic flexibility in the curriculum, curriculum enrichment, and the feedback system. For all these 4 aspects, different marks have been assigned as such. For the university, for the autonomous college, or for the affiliated college as such. While for the curriculum design, university has been given 50 marks, and for the affiliated college there is no mark. Any reason? Any specific reason? Yes, Leah. Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm raising an issue for the first key aspect. The first key aspect in the curriculum aspect is curriculum design. No marks have been given for the affiliated college. Any reason? Any specific reason for that? Autonomous college or the affiliated college have no role to play at all.
It has been designed at the university.
So because it is being designed either at the autonomous college level, because they have been given the freedom, they have been given the flexibility as such, or at the university level, which is wholly solely responsible, that's why no marks have been allotted for the curriculum design as such. Curriculum implementation, it is only the affiliated college which has been given the importance, and nobody else has been given the marks as such. Academic flexibility. Who has been given the flexibility? Just see how there is a variation in the marks. At the level of the college, at the level of the constituent affiliated college, they don't have the flexibility at all. But the autonomous college has been given some freedom. It has been given some flexibility, and that's why the marks are different. The marks are also different in the case of the university as such. But so far the feedback system is concerned, it remains the same. Whether it is a college, a affiliated college, a autonomous college, or a university. Until and unless we are able to get the feedback, we have no chance to bring about the reforms, to bring about some improvements in our existing system as such. So it is the first parameter, that is the curriculum aspect, that is subdivided into 4 aspects, that is the curriculum design, the academic flexibility, the curriculum enrichment, and the feedback system as such, and the different marks have been allotted as such. I come to the second, yes.
So this particular feedback is on curriculum.
Naturally.
Not on the teaching learning process.
No, I'm coming again. For every aspect something has been given, so naturally there those things will be taken into consideration as such. Yeah. The second criteria for making an assessment and accreditation of a higher education institution is the teaching, learning and evaluation. The second aspect. Here again, the same method, the same criteria has been established, and it is divided into 6 sub-key aspects like student enrollment and the profile, catering to the student diversity, teaching and learning processes, the teacher quality, the evaluation process, as I told you that everywhere something will come out, and the student performance and the learning outcome. In fact, diverting from the discussion over here, let me make a mention that when the NACC started with this process of making accreditation, these were not the criteria. Over a period of time, right from 1996 till date, number of changes have taken place. After every 3 years or 4 years, some qualitative changes are being made, whereby more and more improvement can be made. In case you remain constant, no improvement can be brought about. You know very well, in the higher education institutions, particularly in the traditional universities. Anybody from the traditional university? Any participant from the traditional university, just like a state university? The courses are not revised for decades together. We continue with the same type of course as such. On the other hand, the private universities, taking a clue from the demands and the requirements of the society or the industry, they go on changing and updating their courses as such. So that is the difference between a uprising organization and the traditional university as such. So let us see what happens over here. Student enrollment and the profile. Here the affiliated college is being given more importance because they have to ensure maximum enrollment, and I said in my introductory, we want to increase the enrollment ratio in the higher educational institution as such, and the marks are divided accordingly. Catering to the student diversity. You read any day's newspaper, what happened? They talk about the disabled, they talk about the minorities, they talk about the scheduled castes, they talk about the backward classes, and so on and so forth. So here we want to bring about not the affluent ones. We want to bring all those which have been denied the opportunity to join the school, to join the college, to join the university as such. And probably yesterday only, and in today's paper, the Supreme Court has again come out with the admission criteria as well for the lower institution. The teaching learning processes. You being the teachers know very well what type of the methodology you have been adopting over a period of time so far as your exercise is concerned. Whether it was just a one-day process, it was the blackboard and the chalk, now it is PowerPoint presentation, or you give the assignment to the student, come prepared, have the interactive discussion, discuss and debate, and come out with the best solution as such. The teacher quality, you know very well, I need not explain this aspect. When we refer to the teacher quality, what should be their qualifications? Whether the PhD should be the essential qualification, the MPhil, or simple BTech and MTech for the technical organizations. What professional assignments you have taken up over a period of time. Whether all the positions are available as per the sanction strength. And I know as a member of the NACC team and the NPA team, you know very well, when the team comes, a large number of teachers are shown. As soon as the team goes, all those fictitious names and the teachers are also nowhere as such. It is just like that in the marriage party there is a bandwalas. So here also those bandwalas are available in some of the institutions as such. The evaluation process and the forms. Here I am taking up your aspect. The evaluation is terms of the teaching, in terms of the learning, in terms of the learning practices and the processes as such. So everything is taken care of in this aspect where the marks are 40, 30 and 50 as such. The student performs very well in terms of pass outs, in terms of the talent, in terms of their extra activities, in terms of clearing their date examination, in terms of their clearing the IAS and the HCS and the PCS and or other examination and so on and so forth. This is the most important aspect, particularly relating to a university. Research, consultancy and extension. Whether as a college teacher you are required to do more and more research, or you are required to undertake only classes as such. Generally in a affiliated college or a constituent colleges, you have to devote more time for the student by being in the classroom, doing maximum class hours as such. But once you go to a university, you have lesser teaching time and more on the research component. And that's why the marks have been given in the different manner, particularly serial number 4, research publication and the awards. 100 marks have been assigned only for the university to be whereby we can assess to what extent a university has been engaged in the bringing about the research publications and the awards as such. Let us see one by one. Promotion of research. What do you mean by promotion of research? That it is the organization concerned which has to provide the facilities, the research facilities, inculcate and motivate whom?
Teachers.
The teachers, the potential teachers as such. Yes, go for the research activities. Resource mobilization for research. Once you create the facilities, you require more and more funds. Research facilities in terms of, if you are a technical institution, research facilities consume a lot of resources as such, because you require labs for which crores of rupees or lakhs of rupees have to be incurred, and until unless you have the proper labs, probably the environment is not there to conduct the research activities. And once the institution has been able to motivate you, provide you the funds, and show the labs as such, what they expect from you, you bring out the research publications. Research publications in those journals for which you pay. This is the trend nowadays, that you submit an article, along with the payment, your article will be published. We don't require such type of research. We require research that your article is published in a national or an international refereed journal as such. The findings of your research study are beneficial to whom? To the country, to the industry, to the society as such. Then only the research facilities and research publications would be of some importance to the countrymen as such. Consultancy. Consultancy can be both with money and without money. It all depends on the college, the university or the institution concerned. What type of the consultancy arrangements you have made. Generally, it is 50-50 arrangement or so in your case?
We have around 70-30.
70-30. So sometimes it is 70-30, sometimes it is 80-20, or sometimes it is 50-50. So, pardon?
30% for institution or?
Depends on the type of consultancy. We have 50-50, 70-30, both of them. We have.
Yeah, so it will all depend from organization to organization, or you say as a teacher that in case I am going to undertake this project, what type of the arrangement I have been able to make with the organization concerned. The extension activities and the social responsibility. You know, extension activities are what? Whether it is NSS, whether it is NSC, or involvement with the community development projects as such, that is the extension activities, the collaborations. What for you go for the collaboration? It may be a student exchange program, it may be a faculty exchange program, It may be a program for transfer the technology and so on and so forth. So collaboration plays a very, very important role, particularly in a technical institution and not in a conventional type of the university as such, but certainly if there is a continuous flight of the people from the industry to the academics, from the academics to the industry, both of them will be able to understand what are their respective requirements, how to make changes in their syllabi, and the industry will be able to impart the practical situation to the students of the day as such. So this way collaboration can again play a very, very important role. So depending upon the importance of a particular key aspect and the sub aspects, the marks are allotted accordingly. Infrastructure and learning resources. As I said, from here onwards, all the marks for all the aspects relating to other criteria remain the same. Reason being, physical facilities. Whether you are in a constituent college, in an autonomous college, or in a university, you require the best type of the physical facilities. You require the best type of the library, where the journals are available, the e-books are available, and other facilities are there. The IT infrastructure, the maintenance and the campus facilities again is one of the constituent part of the infrastructure and the learning resources. So as I said, from the fourth criteria onwards, marks would remain more or less the same as such. And the reason, as I said, these are the supporting facilities for bringing improvement in the educational system as such, and infrastructure is one of them. Student support and progression. The first key aspect is student mentoring and support. What do you mean by student mentoring? Yeah, the last student please, the last participant. Yeah, what is this mentoring? Have you ever started with this mentoring aspect in your college? From where you belong? Panipat. Okay, which college?
College.
Okay. So what is this mentoring system?
Students को guide करना.
That's all? Something else? Yes, dear.
Counseling the student system.
Yeah.
Mentoring system for the student, that some group of students are allocated to a teacher.
Exactly. Yeah. Then what for? What for?
The student personal problem, the academic problems, or whatever the hostel problem, they can report to that particular center.
So a certain group of students, yeah, you are perfectly right. A certain group of students are assigned to a particular teacher. All the problems of those students will be taken care of by the teacher concerned. So he is not personally involved in their whole welfare as such. That is known as the student mentoring. And what is the student support? In all the colleges nowadays, you have a grievance cell, you have a placement cell, you have a anti-ragging cell. Some other cells are also there. Particularly for the ladies nowadays, there is sexual harassment cell and many other cells, whereby all the activities of the students can be taken care of by those individual cells, and if at all there is some difficulty, that cell will take care about their problems, about their grievances as such. What is the student progression? Anyone? I leave it to you now. What is the student progression? Students are moving from
First to the second year, second to third.
that's all or something else?
The failure rate should be minimizing as.
Okay, something else also. Can you take up at the same time, once you are in BA1 or BA2 or MA1 and MA2, some other courses also? Nowadays, the government of India has come out with the schemes that there is a 5 years integrated program. Once you have joined your +2, cleared your +2, you can go for the law degree along with the graduate degree. You can go for your engineering. I do not know whether it is available. If I remember about some longer one, there they are having this 5 years integrated program as such. So we are trying to move not only in one direction but in multiple direction as such. What for? For getting the jobs. If not in this field, in the other field. And that's why the modular credit-based system is again such attempt whereby student can progress. Now, an arts student can opt for certain subjects related to the science. A science student can opt for certain subjects related to the arts or the medical or so on and so forth, whereby you can get some opportunities as such. Student participation, you know very well, student participation, maybe in the extracurricular activities, maybe in the games, maybe in the community projects, and so on and so forth as such. Governance, leadership, and management. Here again there are 5 major aspects. The institutional vision and leadership, the strategy development and deployment, the faculty empowerment, financial management and resource mobilization, and the internal quality assurance system. The marks have been allotted as such, and as said, the marks remain more or less the same for all the various sub-criteria. But here I would like to make a small brief intervention. Is there any difference between a vision, mission, and a goal? I know whenever I visit any institution, with number of pages and the blackboards, it is written, this is the vision of the organization, this is the mission of the organization, and this is the goal of the organization. What do you mean by those vision, mission, and the goal? Are these the same, or there is some difference as such?
They are different.
Okay. What is the difference, beta? Yes. Is there any difference? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What is the difference between vision and mission, or the goal?
Mission is that
Vision. I'm coming. Vision comes first, or mission comes first?
Vision
is first.
Okay. If the vision comes first, let's know what is the vision as such.
Vision is a long-term process.
It is a long-term process. It is a specified statement or a general statement.
It's a dream, actually.
Yeah. So it has to be in a detailed manner or in a very brief manner.
Brief.
So it is always a general statement. It is the one you aspire for, that over a period of time you will be able to achieve it. Whereas a mission is a more detailed one in the direction of achieving your vision as such. And the goal?
The path.
The goal is a path both in terms of quantitative and the qualitative. So we have to make a distinction between the three. I need not explain all these things because I intend to touch some other things. Innovations and best practices. Environment consciousness. Because you raised the issue, here it comes that societal issues have to be taken into consideration. What innovations from time to time we are trying to bring about? So what are those innovations and organization has come out? Daily we read in the newspaper, some of the private colleges or in the technical institution, they come out with a new type of a car, with a new type of an engine, with a new type of a robot, and so on and so forth. These are the innovations as such. And the best practices, as I said, best practices are those which are evolved by the organization, which are adopted by the institution, which are adapted by the organization. Is there any difference between evolving, adopting, and adapting?
Yes.
What is the difference? Yes. I am saying that best practices can be evolved, those can be adopted, and those can be adapted as. What do you mean by adoption?
Taking it from somewhere else.
Yeah, it is copyright. Adaptation,
Changing yourself to that.
according to your needs and requirements, and evolving, you create the things on your own as such. Generally it is said best practices are the borrowed practices. We borrow from somewhere, but even then those practices are all the time very good in that way. So these are the explanations which I hardly try to cover curriculum aspects. Student enrollment and profile, let me skip it over. Here the explanations have been given, and I think it's not required now. I'm not that good in the ICT to verify. That is one of the reasons as such. Yeah. Once an institution has gone through the whole process, as I said, there are two major criteria. One, it is an online submission, and later on we have to submit a self-study report. And once the online submission is there, here again you have to provide the data online. It is a computer-based system that takes into account the various questions, and automatically the marks are awarded to the institution which intends to go for the accreditation. In all, there are 25 probes on which some data is asked for by the NACC. Some of the probes which are 25 in nature are: what is the teacher-student ratio? How many teachers are in existence? How many teachers are PhDs? To what extent your campus is Wi-Fi? To what extent the various seminars and the conferences have been held in your college as such? Whether the restroom facilities are available, whether the computers are available as per the requirement of the college as such. So this way there are 25 probes on the basis of which the marks are given, and in case an institution is able to get 60% of the marks, then it is able to clear the first hurdle. The first hurdle is known as the institutional eligibility for quality assurance. The institutional eligibility for quality assurance. So it is not necessary that only in one probe you get the maximum marks and in other zero. No. It is in totality. You have to obtain 60% marks, then you become eligible to apply for the second part of the evaluation through the self-study report. Why this system has started? This system started only in 2007. Previously, there was no such system. This system has been started only for the reason that there is every likelihood some institutions in a hurried manner may like to go for an assessment, and still they are not ripe for assessment and accreditation. So in case we are not able to get 60% marks, the NACC comes out with a number of suggestions. What for? You are still not ripe. Take another 6 months time, make necessary improvements, and then again come up to us for making the assessment and accreditation of your organization. So here there is a cooling period. The cooling period of 6 months is given to the organization concerned. You improve. Wherever the shortcomings are there, you try to remove them and again come up to the NACC for assessment and accreditation. Again, before I take up the grading system, the fee structure has been revised only recently in October 2013. Previously, the fee being charged by NACC was quite nominal. But now, with the increase in the inflation, with the increase in overall prices also, NACC has also increased the prices, increased the fee also. In case you go for a registration with the NACC online, for eligibility or otherwise, you have to pay 25,000 rupees plus the service tax which is being charged probably, what is service tax nowadays? 12% something? 12.36%, yeah. So in addition to 25,000 rupees, you have to pay 12.36% as the tax. In case a university is going for accreditation, and within a university there may be 1 department, 10 departments, 70 departments, or 80 departments. Here they have maybe 2 types of categories. A university having up to 10 departments, they have to pay rupees 3 lakhs. And a university having more than 10 departments, they have to pay 6 lakh rupees for getting the accreditation. In the case of a college, whether it is a private, it is a government or an aided one, having only single faculty or the multiple faculty. When we refer to only single faculty, I mean only arts, only commerce, only science, then we have to pay 1 lakh rupees. And if it is multi-faculty, for example, the science, the commerce, the arts, etc., then we have to pay 1.5 lakh. Mind one thing again, we have to pay service tax as well, in addition. In the case of a professional institute, I gave an example. What was the example? It was National Council for Teacher Education, where we are having an MOU with the NACC. Here again, we have to pay 1 lakh rupees plus the tax. In addition to this fee, the institution concerned is required to make the payment relating to the TA, the DA, and the honorarium that is to be paid to the members of the team that visit over there. So that means that traveling allowance, the DLL allowance, plus the honorarium that has been paid to the visiting team is again the duty and responsibility of the institute concerned. But some exemptions are there. Those organizations, those institutions which have been registered under 2F and 12B or Section 3 of the UGC Act, these have been exempted from making the payment relating to the fee. Fee in terms of right from 1 lakh rupees, 25,000 rupees to 6 lakh rupees. So far the TA, DA and honorarium is concerned, UGC has already come out with a scheme whereby all these expenses are reimbursed by the UGC to those organizations as such. It means it is the government of India which is providing liberal assistance to the colleges, to the autonomous colleges or to the universities. Yes, be prepared, and money is not the problem at all so far as accreditation and assessment of the institute is concerned as such. So once the self-study report has been done, I shall come later on. Let me come to the grading system as such. So far the grading is concerned, here again there is a history. Ever since 1996, different criteria have been established. There was a time when there were only 2 criteria, either yes or no. A team came, NACC decided, and the institution has been given the accreditation yes, or it has not been given the accreditation. Then this system shifted with A, B, C. So there were 3 categories, A category, B category and C category. Then this system was again changed to 5 stars. I'm sure some of your institution might have been given 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star and 5 star. So all the grading system was divided into 5 parts. And later on it was switched over to 9 stars: A, A plus plus, A plus and A plus plus, B, B plus, B plus plus, C, C plus, C plus plus. And now that system has also been changed. At present, the grading system is based on a CGPA score divided into 4 categories. Those categories are A, B, C and D. A is good, A is very good, B is good, C is satisfactory, and D is, we have gone through the whole accreditation process, but we didn't find you suitable for accreditation. So based on the marks that you get in each and every criteria, if you remember the 7 criteria were there, 32 key aspects were there, 204 indicators were there. For each and every sub aspects, the marks are given by the visiting team, and based on that, these cumulative results are divided. The CGPA score is divided into 4 parts. Those who are able to score either 1.5 or below, those are not considered good for the purpose of accreditation. That means their cases are rejected as such. Those which are getting from 1.51 to 2.0 are rated as C category, that is satisfactory. From 2.01 to 3, those are rated in the B category at the good, and those which come in the category of 3.01 to 4, those are rated as A, that is very good. Previously these were excellent, very good, good and very good. And sometimes there was a variation of only 1% or 2%. An institution which is coming between 95% to 100% was rated as A, for example, as excellent. How to make a distinction between an institution which got 99% and 95%? They are clubbed only in one category. In order to remove that deficiency, the CGP score has been started as such, and now each and every small aspect is taken into consideration, and this way the identity of the organization can be maintained very in a objective manner and not in a subjective manner. Yeah. I come to the methodology. As I already said, the methodology I have already tried to explain. It is an online submission where 25 probes are taken into consideration, and this is the institutional eligibility for quality assessment is taken care of. Those institutions which are able to clear this one, they go for the second stage. Yeah, preparation and submission of a self-study report by the institution. So criteria-wise, the report is prepared by whom? By you people, by the promoter institutions as such, and that is submitted. One of the guidelines for preparing this report is it should not become bulky. Just as in the examination hall, there has been all the time a practice. What is the practice? More you write, more you get the marks. At present, I am a moderator, evaluator and everything with regard to the UPSC, and I know how the IAS aspirants, they try to write more and more, and the contents are 0. So that is why even the UPSC has come out with a new strategy. A 72-page booklet is issued to you, a specific question is written, the specific space is also provided to you. Within the limited space, you are required to give the answer to the best of your knowledge as such. And that answer is adjudged by the evaluator as such. So a bulky report does not constitute, doesn't mean you are one of the best institutions. Better it is you prepare the whole report will not more than 200 pages. That is suggested. So 200 pages are much more than sufficient as such, and within 200 pages you can write whatever you feel like. So these are various guidelines I need not explain, but within 200 pages it is always better that you can do justice with regard to what innovations you have, what best practices you have, in what way you are different from the other institutions as such. Once the self-study report has come, it is the NACC which plans the visit for your organization. Generally, it is a 3 days visit. On the first day, the chairman along with the members, there may be 2, there may be 3, there may be 4 or 5 depending upon the bulkiness of that organization as such. They visit your organization. Immediately on visit to the institution, they have an informal discussion with them. I need not explain from here. And already the report that was prepared by you people, that has already been circulated to all those members of the team, and on the basis thereof, they have also prepared their own notes. Those notes are exchanged in an informal manner, and the second day, the actual visit starts. The actual visit is having discussion with the governing council, the promoters of the institution concerned, and followed by the visit to the campus as a whole, where they want to see all the central facilities. The central facilities are the whole campus, the library, the health center, the medical center, sports facility, the auditorium, and many other things as such. In the evening again they come back, they have an informal discussion. What transpired during the whole day, how they felt about the organization, and they start now giving the marks. All the members, they give their own marks for the particular parameters as such. The next day, now they have a discussion with the teachers, with the supporting staff, with the students, with the parents, with the alumni, or anybody else as such. And again they form the opinion what type of the education is being imparted in that organization, and again they sit together, prepare a draft report, and the report is finalized. Next day, that is in the final day, this report is shared by the chairman of the team with the promoters concerned. These are our observations as such, and generally after discussion, it is the other party, they sign on that journal, the report that has been prepared as such, and that is shown, that is known as the exit meeting. So during the exit meeting, the highlights of the organization are made by the chairman of the team, and in case any other member wants to give his or her observation also, they are at liberty as such. So this way the whole team visits over there, make their presentation, prepare the report, and then this report goes to the NACC finally. In the NACC headquarters, there is an executive council which ponders over the report, gives its final decision, and the decision of the NACC executive committee council is final as such, and this decision is conveyed to the organization concerned. But some relaxation is available. What is that relaxation? The relaxation is that an institution can apply for reassessment or reaccreditation within a specified time. What is the specified time? That within a period of 1 year after the accreditation, let me mention, accreditation is for a period of 5 years. In the case of NBA, it is both for 3 years and for 5 years. In the case of the NACC, as I said, it is 5 years. So after 1 year, and before completing 3 years, an option is given to the organization concerned that you can apply for bringing improvement from C to B, from B to A, and not from D to C as such. Fee structure remains the same, process remains the same. The only exception is last time you were exempted from the payment in case you are an institution under 2F, 12B or section 3, but this time if you are applying for re-accreditation, you are applying for a reassessment, then the fee and other charges will have to be borne by the organization concerned as such. So that is the only procedure that you have to make the payment. Or in case you are not satisfied with the decision taken by the executive council, then within 30 days from the date of the receipt of the accreditation letter or any letter, you can make an appeal. Again, the payment I said it is 1 lakh rupees. A 5 members appellate committee will be set up by the NACC. That committee will take its decision, see the pros and the cons, come out with a decision, and the decision of the committee and the NACC would be binding on the party concerned. So this is the procedure that either we can go for a reassessment, we can make the appeal also that the whole process has gone wrong, something went wrong, and these are the good points. Those good points will be taken care of by the executive council or by the appellate committee as such. Lastly, I will take only 5 minutes more. I hope I can. Yeah. I talked about the program accreditation, if you remember. I said NACC at present only talks about the institutional assessment and not the program accreditation. But nowadays, some move is on the anvil. There is a reason. When we talk about the institutional accreditation, it means there is every possibility that very good departments of a university are sidetracked. We are not able to make the comparison of those departments with the other university departments as such, and that's why there is always a need that such university departments or autonomous colleges are brought to the light as such, and that's why there is a need for the program accreditation as such. And that is the reason that nowadays program accreditation is on the move. That program accreditation would help us in comparing and contrasting the performance of a particular program, maybe MBA, maybe a health education, maybe electronics and electrical of the meter vis-a-vis the other meters as such. So here we shall be able to compare and contrast the performance. This is one good point. Employer would be benefited. Why? We will be able to know which is the best performing unit throughout the country so far the electronics or the electrical unit is concerned. The teachers, the society, that is the parents and the students, will be able to know which is the best organization in the country, or the research organization, the funding agencies would like to invest more and more money where the program is done in the best possible manner. So these are some advantages, but there is a big challenge. What is the biggest challenge? That thousands of programs in the country would have to be assessed and accredited. At present, we are not able to do the accreditation for our existing colleges and the universities. And if the program accreditation is started, you require lot of time, energy, and whatnot. We will have to prepare separate program accreditation manuals for them. We would require specialized resource persons who would be visiting those institutes as such. Or in case one of the program of a university or a college is not assessed in the right manner, it will affect the prestige and the credibility of the organization as well. So these are some of the major challenges due to which the program accreditation is yet to take up, although it is one of the mandate. It is within the purview of the NACC to carry out the program accreditation. But at present, inputs are being taken from a US-based organization where they have 4 lakh members in 160 countries. So some inputs are being taken, some more parameters are being evolved, and let us hope in the years ahead or in times to come, we will be able to start even the program accreditation in our country as such. And lastly, some people have been asking why there is a need, why to go for a voluntary accreditation. At present, accreditation by NACC is voluntary in nature. Why it should not be made mandatory? It is only last year or last to last year that it has become mandatory. It was in 2010, the government of India came out with a bill whereby a national accreditation regulatory authority would be constituted. This regulatory authority would be responsible for doing the assessment and accreditation of all the institutions throughout the country. The National Knowledge Commission, have you heard the name? The National Knowledge Commission as well as the Yeshpal Commission, they also came out with a suggestion that let there be a national accreditation regulatory authority, and that authority should have such agencies to whom the license can be given, and these licensing agencies will do the accreditation. It has its advantages and disadvantages. You know very well that you make the payment, a licensing agency, and they will do the favor for you, and so on and so forth. So there was a lot of criticism. Should there be licensing agencies? This was suggested by National Knowledge Commission, but the Yeshpal Commission said no. Better it would be that we have a non-profit organization in the public domain which should be held responsible to do this accreditation work, because NACC on its own may not be able to undertake such a arduous or such a magnified task as such. And that's why so far nothing has come out. Meanwhile, Kapil Sibbal's baby, that was National Council for Higher Education and Research. I'm sure you are well aware about that one. So that dream has yet to make a headway, and let us see when that National Accreditation Regulatory Authority would be there and something positive results may come in our system as such. Here I would like to stop. You can raise some questions if you feel like. You are all the time most welcome.
So what is the need or why there are two different bodies, NBA and NACC?
As I said in the beginning, in our country we have two systems. NBA deals only with the technical education, whereas NACC only deals with the higher education. And that's why Kapil Sibal came out that all these activities would come under one umbrella, that is the National Council for Higher Education and Research, whereby all the functions, the UGC, AICT, NBA, the Medical Council of India and many other those professional organizations would come under one umbrella. Problem would be, do you require a Lokpal or a Supra Lokpal or again another Lokpal? So it is a question mark. It is a very, very public debated issue, and nothing has come out so far. Yes, please. Anybody else?
So you have got a vast experience in these activities you are associated with the NACC for a longer time. So what are the visible changes which is observed in an accredited college and non-accredited college?
All the time there is a difference. I gave the example of those bandwalas. If those bandwalas are not available, certainly there is a qualitative improvement in the organization.
But is it being sustained?
Yeah, it is being sustained. That's why
Because I have got accreditation say for 5 years.
I am coming to your aspect. Yeah. NACC has now come out with another methodology. Once the first accreditation is done, the second accreditation should be different from the first one. The third cycle of accreditation must be different from the second one. So every time NACC has been making in-house innovative changes whereby the same accreditation process you need not come out, you need not cross. So we want to check up what further improvements you have made ever since the second accreditation was done or the third accreditation was done. So certainly you might have brought certain new changes as such, and that's why the accreditation will be given for the third time, and that's why the new bill, as I said, of 2000, it was one of the terms of the reference of that bill was how to make a distinction between the accreditation of the first cycle, the second cycle, the third cycle. Because the time was not available with me, I didn't discuss the major provisions of the bill as such. Yes, please. Yeah.
Is there any parallel organization who checks the tiny industries?
Tiny industries has nothing to do with this one. It is only the NBA. Tiny industry comes within the purview of some other organizations. ISO is not an organization, it is just a certificate only. That you meet out with the certain requirements which are listed out, and if you are able to get it, then you can do it. Tiny organization come within the Ministry of Micro, Macro and Small MSME. Yeah, MSME. At present, I am a member of the ad hoc task force of the Government of India, constituted by the Cabinet Secretariat. And the Cabinet Secretary nowadays tries to oversee the performance of the ministry. Who is the head of the ministry? It is the Secretary or the Minister?
Cabinet
No. I am referring to administrative head. Any ministry is headed by a secretary, and its political head is the minister concerned. So Cabinet Secretariat now comes out to know how to adjust the performance of the secretary of the ministry concerned vis-a-vis the minister. So an MOU is signed between the secretary of the ministry on the one hand and the minister on the other, that over a period of 1 year, within this year, what the ministry is going to do and how that evaluation will be done, what targets have been given to it. Those targets are given by a team known as the ad hoc task force on result framework document. So all the ministries of the Government of India, 73 in number, are divided into 6 syndicates, and I was a member of a syndicate 4 where the trade, industry and services come, and your MSME was also part thereof. So the ministry comes out with certain targets, and those targets are always lesser targets. Those are very soft targets. It is this committee, it is this task force, they suggest these are very soft targets. Some of them you have already achieved during the last year. What new things you have brought this year? So we give them the hard task to achieve, and at the end of the year again, there is an evaluation by the same task force, and the marks are awarded. And this way, even the performance of the government nowadays is being evaluated by independent evaluators appointed by the Government of India. Thank you very much.